Hey, this is Mark with One More Cast Pro Guide Service. I've been slacking a bit on my videos, so I'm getting ready to do a recap for 5 tournaments. I feel like we often want to get online and celebrate our great tournaments, our great days on the water, but not every day's great. Not every tournament's a great finish. In fact, there's probably more bad finishes than good, unless you're Jordan Lee or Brandon Polinick. Congratulations, Brandon, on the last couple tournaments for you. So we had 2 at Guntersville, 1 at Neely, and 2 at Pickwick. 3 ABTs and 2 BFLs. The Guntersville BFL, I'm just going to talk about that first. We had some tornadoes come through the night before. The area I'd been fishing unfortunately got blown out by the tornado. There was eelgrass everywhere, floating eelgrass. Made it real tough to fish. We caught a few fish, but unfortunately that was a 0 day. Caught a bunch of shorts, didn't catch any keepers. It happens. The Guntersville ABT had a real good practice. Was going north, got on a smallmouth bite and catching smallmouth in spots. Didn't fish the same stuff twice and was catching 16, 18 pounds pretty easily. Throwing a chatterbait, pulling it out of grass, and throwing a crankbait up north on the north end of the lake up towards Nickajack Dam. Come tournament day, made the run up there. They were pulling about 20,000 more cubic feet per second than what they were forecasting for, and it was really just too much current for what we were trying to do. So we caught a limit, but it wasn't enough. I can't remember. It was like 10 or 11 pounds. It needed like 25 pounds to win, or more actually. Then the Neely ABT, woke up that morning, the headache turned into a migraine, but I pushed through. Jonah, fortunately, he caught a few fish for us. Had a pretty good practice for Neely. Throwing a shaky head on some points with current breaks, and just when we got there, we was catching a little short fish, and again just having trouble finding that good quality fish. The Pickwick BFL was really frustrating. Had a really good practice. Was able to get out there with one of my former golfers I coached, Dawson Garrett. Me and Colt and him had a fun time. We fished a lot of different areas, a lot of different baits. Done really well on a chatterbait and a jig and a swim bait. And it seemed like in practice every fish we caught was 3 or 4 pounds. Had a really good feeling going into the tournament. Friday night, full moon. I don't know if that might have shut it down a bit, because I think there was quite a few of the fish that hadn't spawned yet moved up to spawn, and it had it a mess. And went out there and was able to scratch out one keeper. But that 2 pounds 206 smallmouth brought me up 18 spots in the point back into the regional, because that second BFL at Guntersville really hurt me and dropped me from 9th to 63rd in the points. So that one smallmouth bumped me back up to 45th, which was awesome. I did catch a few other short fish that day. We were struggling to get quality bites. I went throwing a Ned rig and a drop shot and a shaky head, and I had one smallmouth that was like 14 inches and like 19/20ths. It was so close to being a keeper. I nearly threw it in a box and just prayed that it was long enough. A lot of people struggled in that tournament. Even Jordan Lee, he had 2 fish for I think a little over 5 pounds. 23 won it, 20 was second place, and 15 was third place on the boater side. On the co-angler side, 5 pounds cashed a top 10 check. So it was a tough tournament, not just for me, but for a lot of people. Then the following week, we were back there in the ABT, and again, knew where some good fish were, and got there, and we were boat number 2, and we pretty much had our pick of where we wanted to go, and got there. Sure enough, fish all over the graph, fish were breaking, and we were catching every species. I caught a sauger, we caught white bass, we caught a few spots and largemouth, but nothing to keep. And that's just how the rest of the day went. I mean, we went and fished bridge pilings. We went up to the tail race, which I didn't think was going to work, but I was at the point of, well, everything else isn't working, so let's give it a shot. Fish some banks, fish some rock piles, fish some points. We fished a little bit of everything, and nothing worked out. That was a zero for us. So that hurt us a lot, hurt us a whole lot in the points. So, for my last year fishing the ABT, it was kind of tough to take. Because I'm probably not going to be fishing the ABT next year. I'm going to focus more on individual tournaments like the BFLs. If I'm blessed enough by sponsors to be able to fish the Toyota Series, I would love to do that and represent companies with integrity and all the character that I can give them. Again, this was a hard video to do, and my wife and some friends, a really close friend of mine in Florence, convinced me that I needed to do this video because I agree. I said, I agree that we need to be honest with ourselves as fishermen. We spend a lot of time trying to keep secrets and not tell people what we do in the water, which I try not to do that very often. But we do kind of disappear when we've had a bad day. And, I think we just need to be honest with ourselves sometimes and honest with everybody else. Struggles happen. The KVD doesn't win every one of them. KVD doesn't even make the cut in all of them. It happens. So I think that it's just as important for us that do recaps and stuff of our tournaments to talk about the bad ones just as much as the good ones. So I feel like my last 5 tournaments, I could tell you what not to do. But anyway, stick to your strengths is my biggest piece of advice, like it always is. There's no point in going out there and doing something that you're not comfortable with on tournament day. I've got plenty of guide trips dates open for the next few months. The fishing's going to get awesome all the way to about August and September. And even August and September is a good time to get with me on finesse trips to learn how to catch those fish when it is tough. I love going out there with a Ned rig and a drop shot, shaky head, wacky worm, and catch them when it's tough. It's the South, it gets hot, but there's still fish to be caught. Give me a shout. I'd love to get on the water with y'all. Please go like and subscribe to our YouTube. Please go check out our TikTok and our Facebook page, and give me a shout. We'd love to get on the water. I'd love to get on and answer questions for you. If you ever want Colt to go with us, it's not too hard to talk him into wanting to go. He can tag along as well. He's pretty awesome for a 5-year-old, especially. He blows my mind. Anyway, I really appreciate y'all keeping up with us and keeping up with me. Anyway, be blessed.